People are falling like birds from the sky, dropping in Jamaica, and it's very, very sad for some family members. Condolences to family members who have lost their loved one. A lot of persons have said, yo, oh, this is going to stop them, can't live in it no more. What the government going to do? What can the residents do to help? But two men are being found on the Dyke Road in Portmore, St.Cathrine. And it's a very, very sad look, and a lot of persons will be glad because the matter say allegedly said that one of the man is a bad man and him do a lot of things, do a lot of wrongs. A lot of persons are there being very glad and being very overwhelmed after seeing this and being his name being identified. They're being a very glad for them in the community and support for the family members who have been in a rough time with him that they cannot correl him. And the persons who have died was an 18-year-old and a 26-year-old. And the article read, investigators have now identified two bodies of two men found along the Dyke Road in Portmore, St.Cathrine yesterday morning. The men have been identified as 18-year-old Busky Simit of Lower Mall Road, Kingston 11, and 26-year-old Houston Pennant, otherwise known as Beanie, of an address in Kingston 11. So right there and then, they were making a note, say, hey, them find them two man here on the Portmore Road, which is the Dyke Road in St.Cathrine, along the roadside. And it is a situation where people have to say, oh, them just pounce upon them like that. People have to say, yo, I wonder if someone just scare them body come throw it out, because it don't look like a person were killing them there, because they were found in also plastic bags wrapped up, you know what I mean? They're like a plastic folder. They wrap them around and around like a 360-degree angle, right and around. And they could not be, their face could not be identified by just looking at them through the plastic, because their face were very, very traumatized. Their face were just trampled in a bad way, and the body were found about 9:27 a.m. wrapped in plastic, as I said earlier, and still not clear how they were killed. Investigation continues. So right there and there, the police will make the family members know, say, hey, them don't know what kill them enough. Them just know, say, them buck up on them pan Dyke Road on a Portmore, and them just get dashed away. And them mad boy, them get bad and madder. Them get madder and dash people right, left, and center. So right now, my advice to the youths them, try find a hustling. You know what I mean? Because one of the bad thing might just happen to you. Not saying everybody who drop out is doing bad things. And my advice to the government are the persons who are higher authority or the system by large, try to provide more schooling by heart just within the secondary schools, within the high schools across the countries. I know they have been putting in programs, they're injecting a lot of programs doing, but I think they can do twice as best, as well as more that they are doing now. And the flip side of that, after sending them to school, where the young youths gonna get job from 17 to 37, they're about from 17 to 30, they're about where they're gonna get jobs. And the resolution or the answer will be, after sending them to school, why not try to build about a few factories, probably about 6 factories across the island. I have more, probably 8 factories. If you can build 14 factories in each and every respective parish, after the young men have been done school, they can, they can transfer to the workplace or to the work field within the factories. They can build a lot of different factories. They can build factories for welders, that they can build things to benefit the country and that they can export things. A lot of other factories can be built, And that is also an example of what they can do to help curb the crime and how to, to curb the crime in a better way. Even though a lot of persons have to say, them people that you in the system, and them are stop the crime, and them start the crime stem from, and them make everything happen, and there's nothing that they can do to curb the crime, because gun is all over the country. And like how gun is all over the country, no matter what you're gonna do, it only can calm down the crime to a little extent, But it's better it is down more than it's going up, So the crime can corral, but what is going to be the methods? And for a few methods will be sending them back to school and giving them allowance to go to school. Like a lot of these young men cannot really afford to go back to school, Just provide them with the necessity that they need to go back to school, provide things that they would love. Like, for example, you do welding, you do commercial foods, you do a lot of other things, and electrical installation, beauty therapy, housekeeping, and the list can go on and on and on. Just a few examples of what they can do. And then what they can do after that, as I said, open the factories so they can transfer into that and make a lot of living. And they would have less time to be active in criminal elements. To have the time to be, in this world. Because a lot of things are going on now in the country. Youths can find nothing to do, and one of the best source, one of the necessary source for them right now is to do illegal things. And it probably sound taboo or probably sound away, but it's just what it is. Youngsters lack of opportunity and lack of opportunity will bring them to stray. And for them being away from the positive side, they will only doing negative things. So right now, the administrators of the government of the Jamaica, right now they need to do something for the youths. They need to find a crime plan, and they have been working with the Zozo and things like that. That have been help, but will that help in the long run? That person have to say no. That is just like a temporary thing to to just bring in the forces to to make the criminals can be on the hideout, and that is not good enough for the country. The country need a technically crime plan that can actually stem the crime, to calm the crime down, to bring the crime to an all-time low, for people can live comfortable again, that they can open them window and door. Remember them days when they can open their windows, go to your bed. Some people could have opened them door because them not well up in them community. Because you have some community that well up in them community. You can really open your door and go and sleep in your bed because the people will give you a nightmare in the bed. So for the people who can remember when they used to open them window and everything, go them bed and have no fear for nobody come hurt them. Know them more about them days. And you don't have to be an elder to remember them days. You can buy in the 80s and the 90s and remember those days, because crime really it really spiked in the early 2000s. Or even earlier than that, but it's really getting out of control now. And the citizens need to contribute, the system need to contribute, because everybody have to play their role. Not only the government, not only the residents, but even some of the stakeholders as well. Some of the businessmen, some of the persons who can help, who are not helping, I think they should step on board, help the youths, help whoever they can help. And this will be a better Jamaica. Jamaica is a very small island. And for a very small island, I think they have way too much crime versus some of the big countries that are having crime as well, or even more than Jamaica. But the square mile versus a square mile of a next country, Jamaica is way overtaking those countries. You know what I mean? So right now, these two men found in Dyke Road in Portmore, condolences to the family, and it was one of those sad days. And the man them a waste, or the man them wrap them up in our like plastic. Like when I have a chicken and you go take out a chicken out of the fridge, I saw them man give them man them. Just only thing they left for them man for them seem like a chicken is for them in our fridge. And this is very, very traumatizing by the family members who have been seeing this and pouncing up on this, even by the walkbyers who have been summoning the police earlier that day, which is Saturday. So right now, I want to stay safe in the festive season. All of you them on the work, just try to keep the hustling going. Don't try to jump the guns and try to get rich or try to get that big money. If I see the big money, you can get it safely, but not illegally, even though sometimes that work for them, but don't try to be too greedy. You know what I mean? And you have to just keep on the head for nobody. For all of my fans, you have to run up the comment section right now and tell them to think about the situation about you them over. Dyke over Portmore. Two you them who drop out. What do you think really? Stem this. What do you think? You think them is a bad person or them at the wrong place at the wrong time? But that person have to say them never get dash way over Portmore Dyke Road, because them not seen a form of evidence of where they have been dash way. It only have been seen that they're in a bag. So it seems like people have to say that a person have to say that they were dash way in our next community or elsewhere, but they came and dumped them in Dyke Road in Portmore, St.Cathrine. And now the crime and the violence get into a next level where anything you can see possible. You know what I mean? And all more story to come. More want to burn up the comment section and think. Don't fear the comment section. Comment everything you want to know. If you don't know nothing what going over Portmore Dyke Road, or you don't know about them two youngsters, them 18 and them 19 year old, 18 and 26 year old, You know, sleep in the comment section now because you know the fans ultimately know all of these things that going on in the community. Because I know at least few persons watching this video right now know these persons personally and know a lot about their whereabouts, know a lot of things about them, what kind of person they are, who they par with, what kind of work they do, what they did after they left high school. Is there a hustler in them try hard for them living bread? But leave everything down below in the comment section and we can talk from there and then.